They've put it all on her. Now they've failed. Here's what happened. She made the cardinal error of saying free Palestine on Twitter. So she could say all that men are bad and it's this and that, but once you do that, now they've put the entire weight of the failure upon her.
Rachel Zegler was minding her own business. Well, as much as an actress in the middle of Disney's most radioactive remake can mind anything, when director Marc Webb flipped the entire narrative upside down. One day, he was showering her with glowing praise, calling her performance transformative, dazzling, and exactly what Snow White needed for a new generation. The next, he appeared in a livestream Q&A and casually hinted that certain modern talking points had gotten out of hand and distracted audiences from the film's heart. It was the kind of humiliating reversal that feels like discovering your magic mirror has been subtweeting you behind your back.
But imagine you spend $250 million and you get some young girl and you don't kind of talk to her about like, hey, don't get political, you're young. And I know you have opinions about things, but this should be just about the movie.
Well, just to defend Big Head Girl, let me tell you something. The message of the movie is to be that bitch.
Rachel's reaction, captured by an unfortunate friend's phone camera, was instant and volcanic. 1 second of stunned silence, 2 seconds of wobbling lip, and then a 30-minute rant so intense the poor friend's phone overheated and shut down in self-defense. She started pacing the room like a Disney Channel villain, monologuing before the final battle, flinging her arms as if conjuring lightning bolts. Distracted! I was following the memo, she reportedly shrieked, waving a packet of highlighted talking points in the air. This is the bullet list that marketing gave me. Modernize, empower, and remind everyone that the prince is basically a medieval stalker. Her roommate tried to soothe her with a blanket and a mug of chamomile, but Rachel shoved it away, shouting, "Do I look like I need tea? I need a time machine." In the background, someone nervously suggested a yoga app, and Rachel shot back, "I'd downward dog if Disney would stop kneecapping me on live streams."
Snow White bombs, breaks records for the lowest live-action remake opening ever.
Webb's reversal hit at the worst possible moment. Social media was already aflame thanks to a South Park parody that had turned Rachel into a cartoon diva yelling about DEI checklists and threatening to rewrite every fairy tale until the dwarfs unionized. The satire went viral overnight. And while many fans howled with laughter, Rachel was mortified. She felt the parody reduced her nuanced critique of outdated tropes into a shrill punchline, and now the very director who'd once backed her was, in her words, pouring jet fuel on a dumpster fire. Within hours, hashtag Zegler vs. Webb was trending, complete with memes of dwarfs holding popcorn buckets and the evil queen sipping tea labeled director tears.
Have you ever considered that your fairy tales have actually stood the test of time because they are always relevant, because that is what a fairy tale is, because they have timeless, universal values and lessons that any person, regardless of their age, regardless of their generation, could connect to. That is why they are so important. That is why they have been around for hundreds of years. You didn't start these fairy tales. Grimm's fairy tales, that's where they came from. People love these for a reason because of the values.
Inside Disney HQ, executives reportedly scrambled like mice before Cinderella's cat. One faction wanted to issue a calming statement praising both director and star. Another faction argued they should let the internet tire itself out. A third faction, rumored to include at least one stressed lawyer, started combing contracts for brand protection clauses. Meanwhile, Bob Iger was allegedly on a speakerphone barking, "Somebody find me a PR fairy godmother before this pumpkin explodes." In a truly 2020s twist, a junior intern suggested using AI to draft an apology that sounded equally sincere to both vintage fans and progressive audiences. The suggestion was politely ignored after the AI's first attempt opened with, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, we're sorry we upset you all."
No, Prince or a different kind of Prince?
I'm sure a lot of people will assume it's a love story just because, we cast a guy in the movie. Right. Andrew Burnap, great dude.
Yeah.
All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Who the hell are you to say all of Andrew's scenes could get cut? Who are you?
Oh my God.
Are you Disney?
Rachel, still fuming, posted a cryptic Instagram story, a black screen with the words "silenced but not silent" and a sparkling apple emoji. Fans interpreted this as everything from a resignation threat to a call for a full director's cut featuring only her lines. Over on Twitter, she liked a post quoting her earlier remarks about the original film's romance being weird, then unliked it 15 minutes later. Commentators tracked every tap like seismologists watching fault lines. Entertainment journalists rejoiced. They hadn't seen this level of unpredictable digital theater since that one year the Oscars mixed up Best Picture. Marc Webb tried Damage Control, clarifying that he still loved Rachel's performance but felt some messaging overshadowed timeless elements.
So it's not a progression at all to me. My issue with it is exactly what you said. There are actors, dwarf actors, that dream to be in a major motion picture such as this Disney remake. And now, because Peter Dinklage said what he said last year, now it's taken away. And it's taken away because of quote-unquote progression.
This only fueled speculation that he'd been strong-armed by Disney higher-ups into distancing himself from the now infamous Stalker Prince commentary. Conspiracy theories sprouted faster than mushrooms after a rainstorm. One claimed Webb had screened an early cut for his grandmother, and she'd told him, "Honey, this isn't Snow White, it's a TED Talk." Another alleged a secret focus group of toddlers had demanded more woodland creatures and fewer lectures about societal progress. Disney, for its part, released a statement shorter than Dopey's attention span, saying only, "We are proud of our cast and creative team." Gal Gadot, ever the diplomatic evil queen, posted a serene selfie captioned, "Sending love to everyone working so hard on this magical film." Fans debated whether the message was genuine, passive-aggressive, or written by a studio handler. Andrew Burnap, the film's mostly invisible male lead, tweeted a single shrug emoji followed by "Hollywood, baby," promptly going viral for the first time since he was cast. Somewhere in the chaos, Paramount and South Park Studios announced a sequel to their DEI special, teasing more fairy tale fun and a guest cameo from a character who suspiciously resembled a certain singing princess brandishing a contract.
It's bigger than I could have imagined. I'm just super delighted and to celebrate with my lovely cast and crew.
Rachel's team, realizing silence would only let memes fill the void, prepared a carefully worded response. It was supposed to strike a balance between acknowledging fan concerns and defending her right to critique outdated storytelling. But Disney's legal department flagged half the adjectives, and by the time the statement cleared approvals, it read like a fortune cookie. Art evolves, love endures, see you at the movies. Unsatisfied, Rachel hopped on TikTok and lip-synced to Shake It Off while eating an apple slice, which simultaneously delighted her younger followers, and sent older Disney fans into another spiral about respecting the classics. All the while, ticket presales continued their tragic slide. Industry analysts began using phrases like historic underperformance and the Dumbo plummet but on roller skates. Merch retailers quietly slashed prices on Snow White lunchboxes, and some theme park staff allegedly moved promotional banners to less conspicuous corners. The only silver lining for Disney's accountants was a sudden uptick in collector interest. Rumor spread that unsold dolls might become valuable disaster memorabilia, like first edition Beanie Babies, but with more corporate tears embedded in the fabric. Bob Iger called yet another emergency Zoom, where someone suggested shipping Rachel and Marc off on a joint goodwill tour, perhaps a Disney cruise with strictly moderated Q&As and a swear jar for any mention of stalker princes. Another exec floated the idea of a sing-along concert special to remind everyone Rachel can actually, sing. A third proposed they pivot to a deluxe Blu-ray edition titled Snow White Legacy Cut, promising classic magic restored.
I'm so disappointed in Disney. And I'm not saying this as a moviegoer. I'm not saying this as someone who's railing against DEI. I'm saying this as a stock owner in the company of Disney.
That plan stalled when someone pointed out the dwarfs were still MIA and fans might notice. Meanwhile, Rachel's private meltdown gained mythical status. Anonymous insiders leaked details of her tearful rant, describing how she alternated between fury and despair. "I'm not the villain," she reportedly sobbed, then added, "But if I am, at least let me keep the cape." She threatened to release her own cut of the movie on a phone if I have to, while her publicist scribbled notes about potential defamation suits. At one point, Rachel apparently considered a spontaneous Instagram Live apology, but a friend tackled her phone like a Secret Service agent diving on a rogue microphone. Marc Webb, realizing his live stream comment had unleashed Pandora's press box, attempted a second clarification. He posted a 3-paragraph note about artistic collaboration and shared creative journeys. Unfortunately, spellcheck auto-corrected honor to humor, leading fans to interpret the message as him mocking the film's direction. 20 minutes later, he deleted the post, then reposted a corrected version. The internet gleefully screenshotted both, captioning them "Director's Cut" and "Studio Cut."
For Snow White, it's coming to terms with finding herself and finding her inner voice and finding a sense of agency so that she can be a just ruler and a wonderful queen, because there's another one in town.
Webb's Wikipedia page briefly listed his hobbies as backtracking and digging holes. Amid this circus, South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone fanned the flames by teasing a new clip. Their cartoon Rachel storming Disney headquarters with a megaphone, demanding a rewrite of every fairy tale in the vault. Paramount's marketing account quote-tweeted it with a popcorn emoji. Disney's legal department sent a politely stern letter. South Park framed it and hung it in their office bathroom. Rachel's fans rallied, arguing the parody was unfairly mean-spirited. Detractors countered that satire is satire, and if you sign up for a Disney reboot, you'd better pack dragon-proof armor. With every day bringing new headlines, the Snow White saga transformed into a cultural Rorschach test. Some saw it as proof Hollywood panders too much to nostalgia. Others viewed it as evidence studios shouldn't meddle with beloved classics. Some blamed Rachel for over-modernizing, while others blamed Disney for not backing her once they'd unleashed her commentary. Film professors began drafting lecture slides titled, "When Branding Attacks, the Snow White Case Study." Meme accounts churned out jokes comparing the movie's box office to The Huntsman's aim, way off target. As for Rachel, she decided to reclaim her narrative in the most Gen Z way possible. She started a private podcast, promising uncensored truths about her experience.
I get stopped for photos every time I'm online for the Snow White ride, and it is I have to pretend like, oh God, well, crazy that we're in front of this.
Wait, how often are you in line for the Snow White ride?
I'm a narcissist. I don't know. And it's always like my publicist Ashton was with me the last time it happened, and I was like, God, I hope no one, because every time they come up to me, I'm always online for this freaking ride, and they think it's like I'm standing there waiting for the photo op, being like,
well, you kind of are, you know?
No, I guess
like
so.
if Harrison Ford's not standing outside of Indiana Jones.
Within 24 hours, Disney lawyers reminded her of a confidentiality clause thicker than the Enchanted Forest. The first episode now features 30 seconds of ambient bird sounds and an apology to woodland creatures everywhere. Her fans left 5-star reviews anyway, calling it soothing and braver than the original princess. Behind closed doors, negotiations between Rachel's reps and Disney reached a fever pitch. She wanted assurances the studio wouldn't pin the entire fiasco on her. They wanted her to tone down the prince-shaming commentary and maybe film a heartwarming promo with an animatronic dwarf. One rumor claimed Disney offered to let her keep the iconic dress if she agreed to one last press tour with a pre-approved script. Rachel allegedly countered by asking for Final Cut approval on any promo edits. Talk stalled when someone mentioned that Final Cut approval is rarer than a unicorn with a SAG card. Marc Webb, exhausted, took a week-long silent retreat in Big Bear Lake. Upon return, he posted a serene photo of a sunrise with the caption, "New dawn, same story." Fans interpreted this as a cryptic nod to a potential sequel. Disney promptly clarified that no sequel discussions were underway.
Welcome, Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot.
Visual effects push the boundaries of what we see on screen.
Their work makes the impossible seem possible.
With breathtaking ambition, they create magic that wraps its arms around our wildest imaginations.
Here are the nominees for Best Visual Effects.
Webb's agent liked the post, then unliked it when calls from journalists started flooding in. Meanwhile, South Park writers posted a selfie in front of a whiteboard covered in fairy tale doodles, and the phrase, episode title, The Panderverse Strikes Back, Twitter collectively facepalmed. By now, the saga had spiraled so far beyond the movie itself that some moviegoers forgot a release date even existed. Box office forecasters revised estimates down again, predicting a finish so low it might not cover the craft services bill. Disney quietly reallocated marketing dollars to its next animated release, hoping a shiny new project would shift headlines. But entertainment outlets kept circling back to the Snow White drama because it had everything: corporate intrigue, social media meltdowns, satire, feuds, political tweets, and a director who accidentally poured gasoline on the fire he was hired to contain. In the middle of one sleepless night, Rachel apparently drafted a sincere apology letter to the original 1937 animators. She read it aloud to her cat, wept, and then deleted the file.
Somebody said, yes, I need the romance. I feel like it's pushing career mode on us too. I work every day. I need the romance to escape. Another person said, so we're all in agreement that none of us are watching this movie. Somebody else said, if the writer/actor strike takes anything away, I hope that it is this movie. Someone else said, let Snow White be a woman who yearns for love and leads with kindness. That's the bare minimum, literally. Like, do whatever else you want with the movie, just keep those values. Again, the bare minimum. Somebody else said, yes, I'm tired of rescuing myself, being my own best friend. I want to know I'm loved and cherished. I want love stories. Like, that's so sad that that's something that women are asking for in film and TV. I mean, I know what you guys are gonna say, it's their own fault, it's feminism, which it is. Third and fourth wave feminism, they did that. But you know what? A lot of women are tired. A lot of women did not ask for this, just like myself.
She realized any statement, no matter how heartfelt, would be dissected by fans, haters, and late-night hosts. The next morning, she posted a photo of herself hugging a vintage Snow White VHS tape, captioned, "We can love the past and still dream bigger for the future." Half the internet applauded. The other half rolled its eyes. Marc Webb commented with a heart emoji. Fans debated whether it was supportive or sarcastic. Disney executives popped antacids like candy. So, here we are, dear reader, a director backpedaling, a star spiraling, a studio sweating, and a cartoon show cackling all the way to the trending tab. Will Snow White 2025 break even? Will Rachel and Mark hug it out at the premiere? Will Disney quietly push the movie straight to streaming and pretend this was the plan all along? Only the magic mirror knows. And it's too busy live tweeting the chaos to answer. One thing's certain, this fairy tale has already cemented its place in Hollywood lore. Not for its happily ever after, but for the spectacular mess along the way. Now it's your turn. Do you think Marc Webb threw Rachel under the carriage? Or was he simply trying to rescue a sinking ship? Is Rachel a bold truth teller or a PR nightmare? And will Disney ever learn that maybe, just maybe, some classics should stay classic? Drop your thoughts below. I promise to read them while clutching my own VHS tape for emotional support. If this saga gave you a laugh, a gasp, or just a momentary escape from your doom scroll, smash that like button like it's a poisoned apple. You're too smart to bite. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, because Hollywood never sleeps and there's always another plot twist brewing. And hey, the next video on your screen unpacks an even juicier meltdown. Click it before the dwarfs do. And I'll see you there for more popcorn-worthy drama.